Hello there. You know, I'm still awake, and right now it is 5:20 in the morning. I have to get up in 2 hours and go with my buddy to look at his land here in about 2 hours. So I might get. Actually, I won't sleep at all. True, actually, very, very true. Right now is planting season, at least in the northern hemisphere. It's a globe. Sorry, I inserted a little joke there. Wanted to talk about something important. This is the other book. This is actually a suppressed book. It's available out there thanks to me. This is Rawls Davis, The Magnetic Blueprint of Life. Here we have a paperback copy for $1,500 and a few hardcovers starting at $149. This is not my opinion. This is actually a suppressed book. A few copies, by a few, I mean a few hundred copies got out there, but it was a suppressed book because of what it says. The other book, also too available out there, is thanks to me. It's magnetism and its effects on the living system by Rawls and Davis. Experimentations were performed by them on countless different things, things that grow. Due to ethics, I'd never mention any experimentation on either yourself or any other living organism. I can't talk about that for valid reasons, and I don't recommend that to anybody for ethical reasons, obviously so. But I can tell you, matter-of-factly, I've performed the experiment no less than 80 times on different seeds. I've made countless videos on that fact, and you can find them out there. I've had thousands and thousands of people, whether they believed in me or didn't, perform the experiment, and it's like they're shocked. They're shocked. If you want to grow stuff, you could find this book online or get it as you see fit. I have countless videos showing you how to do this. This South Pole exposure. I've told people where to actually place the seeds relational to the south side of the centrifugal edge on the case of a magnet, the best magnets to buy. I should have brought one in here. Anyway, it's a neodymium iron boron. It's a 2-inch by 2-inch by 1-inch thick. That's the best. That's the one I recommend. Neodymium fluctuates like gold and silver, but right now they average like $50 a piece. They could be a little bit less, a little bit more. Like I said, the price does fluctuate. There is a phase disparity on the south pole of a magnet versus the north pole. Rawls and Davis didn't know why that was, but they knew the effects were dramatic. The north side actually inhibits growth, which superficially sounds like a bad thing. But there's some things you want to inhibit, things that you don't want to grow, cancer, things like that. I make no statements of health benefits regarding magnets. I don't suggest anyone get one close to their head. I have a monster magnet in the basement. It's about this big. It's actually 6.5 inches by 2 inches thick. It actually affects the cryptochromes, and yes, human beings have cryptochromes in their eyes. It actually affects that, and it causes a circadian rhythm problem, which makes you stay awake kind of like you did a whole lot of caffeine. It doesn't have the side effects of caffeine, but it keeps you lit. And I don't like to experiment over top of it a whole lot anymore because it really, really messes up my sleep schedule. Not that I ever get sleep. It literally is 5:30 in the morning. And I'm making videos. And then I gotta go drive 3 hours to far, far, far eastern Kentucky, north of Pikeville here, in a couple hours. But that phase disparity on the magnet causes either the acceleration of growth or the inhibition of growth. The south pole is where you want to actually place seeds, and it only requires roughly a half an hour of seed exposure to get the effect. I remember Jack and the Beanstalk and the whole thing with magic beans. Jack, I'm not saying they're magic, but water is a polar molecule. Last I recall, all seeds uptake water. And it actually affects the DNA of the seeds such that they have a different type of take-up and osmosis of water, and there is another effect that would take a long time to explain, and it's rather complicated. It's even a little bit difficult for me to actually process in my head correctly because I'm not a person that's big into biology. I do get it, but it radically affects the seeds. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. Over the years that I've told people about this, that I've had thousands of people do this experimentation since now is the planting season. What if you were to take a pack of your heirloom seeds and have the tomatoes grow faster with less die-off, grow quicker, better, bolder, just by a half an hour of centrifugal South Pole seed exposure? Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it does work, and it is demonstrable. It's real. It is provable. It's reproducible. Countless thousands of people have reproduced it. So, it is real. Think about that. You can actually affect whether tomatoes turn out more acidic or less acidic. North Pole exposure causes the seeds to be less acidic. South Pole exposure causes the tomatoes to get bigger, plumper, and slightly higher acidity. Some people, I never had a problem with the acidity of tomatoes, but some people might like a tomato that's less acidic. To me, the most drastic things are when I can do the experiment over and over and over again on stuff like alfalfa sprouts and mung bean sprouts. Alfalfa sprouts are drastic, North Pole exposed seeds, and it becomes more drastic if you expose them while they're growing. On sprout seeds, and the North Pole exposed alfalfa sprout seeds, for example, just using alfalfa, and I have many videos on this. They smell worse, they're mealy, watery, they don't smell good, they have kind of like a chemical odor. South Pole exposed seeds, they look fresh, they smell fresh, they taste fresh, they taste, uber natural. There's such a thing as uber natural. There's a radical difference. There's far less die-off on the seeds on South Pole exposure. So this is the one book, and the other one is The Magnetic Blueprint of Life. When I tell people in the past years, like, this is a suppressed book, it's like, well, I can get it. It's like, well, yeah, let's see if you could find one there. Here's a paperback for $1,500. I mean, you might find, a schmo, somebody that doesn't know at a used bookstore that, like, you could possibly find a super rare copy of this book for like $10. Possible, not very likely. But at the time, it was a suppressed book. They didn't want that information getting out there. It's not just an idea that I have. It is a suppressed book. Guess who wanted to suppress it? Food and Drug Administration. I won't say who. Since now's the growing season, think about doing some South Pole exposure. I mean, that one magnet will last you an entire lifetime unless you drop it and break it or, Be careful because 2 by 2 by 1 inch is quite powerful. It is enough to break your fingers if you got like the magnet caught between your fingers and like a refrigerator door or something. It's powerful. It will absolutely bite you like an alligator. Not literally, but I mean it will bite you if you don't handle it carefully. And it will damage computers if you get them too close. Or your cell phone. It will definitely damage your cell phone, so make sure your cell phone and all the other important stuff that you like stays separate away from it. So let me know if you have any questions. I've made it abundantly clear how to do this in many videos, so just do a YouTube search and find my videos on how to do this. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day, and goodbye.